Hey, good morning, and welcome to Relationship Wednesdays with Coach Ellis. Hey, so this is the day where we talk to people about relationships, particularly women over the age of 30 who are in, have been in, or want to be in relationships with men. So as a relationship coach, having a TV and radio shows that talk about these things, we've discovered there are 12 enduring principles, or there are relationships Universal Lessonz, ultimately the rules. And one of the rules I want to talk about, I think I may have covered this before, but I think I want to hit it again after experiencing and looking at a couple of things over the last few days. So one of the rules that after you know who you are, after you know your baggage, after you know the list that you must have, it's know, and after you know your boo, know your significant other, is know your us. And knowing your us is really not about understanding who you are individually and how you guys come together. 1 + 1 = 2. That's not what know our us is. Know our us is more like a multiplication problem. 1 × 1 = 1. In other words, who you are individually must somehow coalesce, blend, melt together, bond together to create a whole new product. So I love me some Coach. I think I'm pretty swift. I think I'm pretty great by myself. But here's what I know: the young lady that I married, she was pretty awesome in her own right. And one awesome plus another awesome doesn't equal 2 awesome people. One awesome multiplied by another awesome equals another great awesome product. And so too often we're trying to blend our lives together, we're trying to mix our lives together in a way that we're additive and we're not multiplying who we are. Who I am and who she is individually is different than who we are together. Similar, but different. And so the key to great relationships is understanding who you are together. That requires some sacrifice on both parts. It requires some compromise on both parts. It requires preferring the other over yourself. So what does that really mean? Well, in our us, what it means is that sometimes, a lot of the times, I would say almost all the time, that new love, particularly if it's a wife or a husband, and ladies, I'm talking about your husband, you have veto authority over aspects of their life. Now, when I first mentioned veto authority, women went absolutely nuts. You went crazy saying, veto authority? I'm a grown woman, and I got that. And when I talk to veto authority among men, they're like, no, I'm the man, I don't. But here, if you want great relationships, you didn't marry that person because you didn't trust them. You didn't marry that person because you thought they were selfish and didn't have your best interest in mind. When you married them, when you two became one, that means that your dreams are their dreams and their dreams are your dreams. And sometimes, if we're honest about it, I don't like her dream. Sometimes she doesn't like my dream. So giving veto authority is really about giving them permission to talk into your life, the things you've held valuable all of your life. So that's why it's important to make sure that you choose or you are chosen by the right one who shares core values, so that the things they can veto are not central to the core of exactly who you are. So here's a veto authority scenario. I have a friend who I would spend a lot of time with, and she knows me fairly well. And so when I get married, the wife says, hey, I don't think you should be hanging out with her anymore. Oh, what you talking about? That's like my sister. But the wife, who I prefer over myself, and I have to prefer over my friend, she says, I'm just not comfortable. Well, that's a veto. She gets to veto my relationship. She gets to veto that association. And that's a hard thing to do because, we like to make our own decisions. But in knowing our us, it's understanding how to give up part of your rights, because we give up our right to make unilateral decisions when we enter into permanent relationships. And if you're not in a permanent relationship, then, you know, it's a gift. It's not a right. But when you're in a permanent relationship, in marriage, a committed relationship, then you give up some things. So, ladies, here's what I'm saying. Just as he has veto authority, you do as well. And you should not be afraid to exercise your veto authority for things that make you uncomfortable. Now, here's how this works. I'll be very clear. If a man believes that you are exercising your veto authority because you're insecure, he will have some issues. It's a swirling vortex, because if you're feeling insecure, obviously he has done something or not done something to make you feel secure. That requires you to have this transformational conversation on what it's going to take for you to feel secure about that situation, so that you don't have to exercise veto authority. Sometimes, very, very few times, is it a matter that he doesn't already know that you're not going to like it. He just doesn't want you saying so. Say so anyway. Because great relationships are built on trust. And you cannot have trust if you don't have honest, in-depth conversations. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Use that veto authority. So this is about knowing our us. I'm Coach Ellis. You can catch me at Coach@RULZ. That's RULZ.com. Coach@RULZ.com. Or you can catch me on Facebook on the RULZ TV and radio show, or on Coach Ellis. Hey, this Relationship Wednesdays. Join us next week as we talk about another aspect of relationships, Universal Lessonz, the RULZ. Have a one-tabulous relationship day. We'll see you next week.